Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. I am walking through my home station right now. There's a bakery. And I'm going to be taking your questions today on the July 2017 Patreon live stream. Okay. Just walking through here. Now, I have 3 questions from the chat that I'm gonna start off with. First is from Thomas J. O'Brien. So thank you, Thomas, for leaving this message for me. It says, hey John, for a Q&A video, I was curious, did you have any strange or unusual interactions while your hitchhiking trip in April? Were there any moments that made you stop and think, did that actually just happen? Yeah, there are a few. I think I want to put that more into the DVD, but let me see if I can give you one. Every time that somebody stopped was one of those moments, like, that was pretty strange. Somebody just stopped. And sometimes people would, I said this in the live stream on the Only Japan Go channel with Chris, who's another hitchhiker. People would stop, and I remember seeing them, and then a couple minutes later I'd see them again in front of me, and then they'd pull in and go, what? Is that deja vu? No, they saw me and they looped around to pick me up, and that was pretty weird. There was a live stream that I did where the ride that picked me up introduced me to a Buddhist monk who had the only carbonated water point, naturally carbonated from the ground water point in Hakuba, one of 2 spots in Japan. I thought that was pretty weird. Like, what was that all about? How did I get into this? Or the guy who picked me up, and yeah, I broadcasted a lot of those really weird moments, to be honest with you. If I think of something else, I'll definitely include it into the DVD. So, and I'll let you know in another live stream. But those moments were pretty much captured in the Only Japan Go channel. Eric Holleran. Eric, I got your message here. Hey John, in your video, Tokyo to Kyoto, I see other people use smartphones to get through the gates on the train. Is there an app for the JR Railways? Yeah, there is, and I think I might have it on this phone. There's a Suica app. I haven't used it yet. Let's see if I can pull this up. Yeah, I think okay, yeah, I have it. In order to get the Suica app, you have to go to the Japan store. I don't think it's available internationally. So this is the Japan App Store for the iPhone. And if you download this, the iPhones or the Android phones or whatever phone you're using that has that ability to just tap the ticket gates, you can use your phone to do that. So yeah, there's an app for it, but I haven't used it yet because I have a card. This is an IC card. This one's from Osaka, actually. It's not a Suica, it's a Ikoka, and Ikoka is the one from Osaka. I like the colors better. They all work on the same network, the IC card network, but I also have one that does not, that I thought would. So not all IC cards are made the same. This is a Kumamon IC card. And the Kumamon IC card won't work in Tokyo, and I'm a little bit disappointed about that. Because I bought it when I was in Kumamoto hitchhiking a few months ago. So there's $20 on it and I can't use it. Alright, back to the one more question, I think, from Patreoners. Here we are. Brian Rogers, John, cultural related question. 4th of July is upon us in the United States. Is patriotism a big thing in Japan? That was such a really good question. So Brian, we walk down the street. So Brian, no. Yes and no. Patriotism, and I think this is a worldwide thing. You don't see a lot of people, I don't know, gung-ho like Americans are about their country. You see flags everywhere. I remember having a friend from Europe come and visit me in the United States when I was still in college. And he said, John, what is the deal? Why do they have to put the American flag everywhere? and talk about their own patriotism. Are they so insecure about themselves that they have to promote it so much? And I said, no. I think America is very different than Japan in this way. And this is what I've learned just from living abroad. I could be wrong. It's just my opinion. But America is an idea of people that have come from all over the world into the US. It's an idea. And you have to be connected by something. And it's that idea that connects people. In Japan, people are connected by the way that they look, their language, their names, their culture here. And it's like 99.9% Japanese people here. In America, there are people from everywhere. So patriotism, I think, is a big deal in the United States because of that. And in Japan, yeah, during the Olympics, you get a lot of patriotism during the World Cup, but not so much during everyday life, not even close to the United States. People don't put bumper stickers on their car, for example. I've never seen a bumper sticker on a Japanese car. Yeah, just case in point, here's a couple of cars. No bumper stickers. None. And the other thing that in Japan you'll see, people, they back into the parking spots. They never go in front first. They always back into parking spots. I thought that's also something that's really unique about Japan. But if you're watching this live stream on Patreon, and if you want to leave a question, leave it on the YouTube. Not on the not on the Patreon chat, because I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the YouTube. Uh-oh. The Osmo's going crazy. All right, now I'm gonna take some of your questions if I can get the Osmo back on. Osmo, gosh, we've had some good times together. I'm wearing a hat because I got a really, really short haircut, and it's a little bit embarrassing. It's really short. I told him I wanted it short, and he cut the sides up pretty short, and then I don't know. It looks like I'm look like a shark on the top because he left it long right here and short on the sides. I'm like, well, why'd you do that? And he didn't really have a reaction. And I like my barber, so I didn't mind it too much. I mean, it grows back. It's just hair. Okay. So those are really good questions. I'm glad that you left it there. I'm gonna go into Skype right now. So if you're a Patreon supporter with $5 or more, part of the Samurai Club, I allow people to call in. So if you want to call in, just send me a chat first. Okay. So there's. Sure. Give me a call. If you have a question, you want to give me a call. Absolutely, I'm taking questions. Amanda, I'm getting your chat now. Okay, so here we go. All right. Can you hear me? All right. Oh my gosh, look, you know what? Skype totally changed. I have to put the speaker on for audio calls. All right, go ahead. What's your question?
Hi. So first off, this is a double thing, and I'll get it over with quick so you can get going.
Sure.
First off, will the DVD be available for people who weren't able to buy on Kickstarter at the time? And second, I know that Disneyland is something you find a lot outside of Japan, but do you think you'd ever do some content on Disney Sea? Because I know it's super unique to Japan, especially.
Right. Okay. I'll start off with there's some great questions. DVD, it will be available offline. I'm gonna make a couple hundred more than I sold on the Kickstarter, so there'll be plenty available. I'm not gonna. Gosh, I'm trying to find a way to sell it. And if I do it on Patreon, it makes things kind of complicated. Excuse me. So I'm trying to find a way to sell it, maybe on using PayPal or something like that, and just selling it directly to people. So I think first I have to get the DVD done, and I'm about 70% done with the editing. I'm already behind schedule with that. So my top priority right now and today, the rest of the day, is to first of all, renew my visa, because I got 2 more months left on my visa. And the other one is to just edit this DVD. Since I put the Starbucks video out yesterday, I can sort of go back to the hitchhiking stuff. So it will be made available. I will have 200 or so copies available for people who purchase it. So Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, sorry. I have that.
He was like, whoa, we don't have that in Japan. Seinfeld. I missed that. The second question. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
The second question was, can you remind me?
So I know that Disneyland is, you find a bunch of them all over the world, but I know Disney Sea is super unique to Japan. Do you think you'd ever do some content on that?
Okay. Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of things I wanna film that I can't. Disney Sea is one of them that's really, really hard because Disney, you have to ask for permission. I mean, you could guerrilla shoot it, and some YouTubers have, but I also do a lot of stuff for TV here in Japan, and guerrilla shooting can get me into trouble with other jobs. So it's hard to do that. Disney does not like YouTubers making videos in their park because in Japan the privacy laws are very, very strict, meaning this is why I blacked out the customers' faces in the last video that I uploaded. Now at Disney, I'd have to blur everybody's faces out, and that'd be really, really hard to do unless Disney sponsors the video itself. So they're very, very protective, just like Ghibli as well. These organizations are very protective with the things in their parks. They have control over that. And if I'm making money monetizing videos on YouTube, they might not be into that, and they haven't been so far. So I've asked them before. Disney said no. So if Disney comes around, and I'll keep asking, that would be great because I know Disney Sea is very, very unique. It's different than any other park in the world, and that's something I think would be really cool in a show because it is only in Japan, right?
Yeah, I went last Christmas, and I love Disney. I've been to Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland Paris, and Disney Sea just absolutely blew me away. So I thought seeing your perspective on that would be really interesting.
It doesn't have as many rides as Disneyland, I thought. It's not as exciting in that way, but it's still something I think, if you're into Disney and Disneyland and Disney World, you should go to Disney Sea because you can't go anywhere else other than Tokyo for that. So yeah, that would be a great episode to do. But right now, yeah, as I said, not yet. I'll keep working on Disney, but they're not into it. They're not into it. Just like the sumo wrestlers, I asked a couple of stables. They wanted me to pay them in order to make that episode. So I'm not going to pay them $1,000 to have access to the sumo stable to film, because that's what TV companies do. So getting a theme, I get tons of them. Making them a reality, sometimes it costs money. And this is something where Patreon can be really big help. If the support continues like this, I'll be able to say, you know what, Sumo Stable? I got supporters on Patreon, and we're going to make this episode because that's what people want. Here's your $1,000. And I can do things like that with this support. So let's see what happens. I'm going to stick on the Disney thing, okay? I'm going to stick on to this, and then let's see what happens. Maybe during the low season they'll be more interested in filming, because right now, no way. Like, it's so hard to even get into the park now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely something you could also do long term, like with all the different seasons, spectacular, like Halloween and Tanabata and all the stuff they do there. You could like film all over the year and make it like a year-round thing, you know?
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I think if I get access to that, I'm gonna try to pitch going there earlier and seeing if they'd let me into the park 30 minutes early to try to do all the filming that I can do. I mean, I got in trouble once to have a selfie stick. So Disney won't allow the selfie sticks into the park anymore, which is probably a good thing. But they're very...
yeah, like with how many people there are, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of tourists from Asia, they bring selfie sticks. Japanese don't have selfie sticks so much, but around the surrounding countries, wow, it's like a selfie stick hell. Get poked in the eye all the time. Go to Asakusa or some of the other places in Tokyo. It's really dangerous, actually. But yeah, thanks so much for the question. Did you have anything else?
No, that's it. I'll let other people in line get in. Thank you so much.
All right,
and,
you're very
have
welcome.
A good day.
Yeah, thanks. Enjoy Seinfeld. That's so cool, man. we don't have Seinfeld. Hulu has Seinfeld, but I have Netflix, so. Uh-oh. Okay, the Osmo's going crazy. So let's give Osmo a break for a second. I know the battery's charged. I charge it myself. Technical things. So thanks for that question. Let's see here. Amanda? Yeah, if you want to call in, just go ahead and call in now. I'm losing the Osmo. So I'm gonna have to hole up somewhere. Don't know why the Osmo's not working with me. Okay. Yeah, if you want to call in, just go ahead and call. I got Linda. Let's see here. Linda had a really good question, and I want to address that, but I'm gonna let Linda ask it. She's also interested in becoming a content creator, and she wanted to know some tips and some things that she could do in order to do that better. Some of the things that I use, like right now for this, I have an iPhone 7 Plus and a DJI Osmo, which is not working right now, which is okay. Just give me a second. Why is it working? Sometimes it just overheats, I think. Let me fix this. Maybe that'll work. Okay. Okay, that's better. Whew. This is live stream. I'm gonna go on for about I don't know, 5 more minutes. Unless there's a phone call from somebody out there who's watching. All right. So, yeah. What else is going on? The Starbucks episode is doing really well. You know, YouTube is really a hard place to understand. Because on the main channel there's almost 500,000 subscribers, which is really awesome, but I don't put out a lot of content on that channel because I can't. I put out content when it's done and when it's really good, okay? So that means I can't put out as much content, like not a daily show. And if it's not a daily show, you don't make a lot of money on YouTube. It's sort of, I don't know, it's good enough. So the support on Patreon really helps, but the last video before the Starbucks I did on the hitchhiking guide, the travel hack, I tried to make it seem more exciting than what it really is. And I had debates with the people in at YouTube about what is clickbait. And clickbait is when it's absolutely a totally different subject. You click it and it's a totally different, it's not even content related to what the thumbnail or the title was. And if you're creative with your titling and your thumbnail, that's not clickbait, that's good marketing. You know, you want people to buy your product. You want people to click on it. If the title is boring, I'm not gonna click on it either. So the idea for any creator is that you have to be able to not just make good content, but be able to sell it. The problem with the hitchhiking video was there were only 40,000 people who watched it. And you say only, but if it's a show that's only twice a month, only 40,000 is not a lot of money. That's like $30, I think. So it's important to get videos that do pretty well. And the Starbucks video looks like it's doing pretty good. In one day, it doubled. I don't know. I think it'll probably double the last video in one day, and the last video has been up for 2 weeks. So that's sort of a big deal for me financially and for the channel. I guess hitchhiking is not a very popular thing to show on YouTube. I got some angry people from Japan writing in too that said not to introduce hitchhiking to other foreigners because they're going to imitate it and someone's going to get killed. And you know what? I can understand their feelings on that, but look, if it's not me, it's going to be somebody else. And at least when I do it, I can kind of give some safety tips, some rules, and give a better idea of what the experience is going to be like, because I don't think everybody's going to hitchhike. In fact, probably very few of you who are watching are going to come here to hitchhike in Japan. But I think it's something that's really unique and an experience that I can share, because not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people can eat spiders and tightrope an electrical line. Not a lot of people can do that. Pigeons can do that, but I can't do that. But I mean, people are willing to watch that kind of content. It's just on YouTube. All right, and I'm gonna let you in what my YouTube advisor told me, because I have somebody at YouTube, and this is her last week, and she's moving to another a TV network, which is great. And she told me, I asked her, what are the things that people really want to see? Is there any way to kind of guide you into making content that people want to watch? And I make content that I think is interesting for everybody based on my experiences in Japan. And I don't do it just to get the views all the time, but I also do it, I want you to watch it. I want to bring in new people to the channel. That means I have to think of content that connects with other people and bring them into our group. And I asked her, what are some of the things that people look for that does well? And she said, one of them is horror, things that scare people. One of them is hunger, things when people see the food, they're hungry, and then they have an instinct to click on and watch those kinds of shows. So food shows do really well. And then the other one is hangers. If you leave them hanging, they want to click to see what happens. And then other things are curious or mysterious things, like maybe an image that you see is like, what was that? You know, is like a giant clam. I saw one of the other YouTubers put thumbnails of really massive seafood that they caught in Okinawa. Millions and millions of views. The video is nothing special. The video is a guy with a camera, no narration, no story. He's just filming someone scooping out a big oyster, and it's got like 5 million views. So I can't understand, as a creator, all the work that I put into some of the videos doesn't do well, and yet a dude with a camera can get 5 million views by showing. I guess it's about timing, it's about luck, it's about kind of finding an emotion based on the title and the thumbnail. So that was an interesting conversation with the YouTube rep, and I learned a lot of stuff. Oh, Sean's on. Okay, let's see what Sean has to say. All right, I can video chat if you like. All right, hold on a second. Oh, sure, Sean. Yeah, if you want to video chat for a quick question. I'm gonna be ending the stream because I haven't eaten breakfast. So anybody who has a question, and I saw that Jim had left me a question before. Yeah, Sean. So Sean, if you're watching, you can call in anytime. And let's see here. Eric, you're very welcome. Brian, haircuts are $35. No way. My haircut's $10, and I have a point card, and he gives me $2 off if I fill the point card. You want to see the point card? Oh, here it comes. Okay. All right, here's Sean. All right. Hey, Sean.
Oh, hey, how you doing today? A little hungry, huh?
Yeah. I went past that bakery at the start of this video. I walked through the station. There's a bakery in there. I can smell like, oh my gosh, why I missed breakfast. I'm gonna have to make this short if I don't get that many questions. But as people are starting to tune in now, so yeah, how you doing?
Oh, doing okay. Starting to get a bit hot here. Almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit today.
Yeah, that's a little bit hot. That's a little bit hot.
Yeah, a little bit of a heat wave going on here in America. At least over in the mountain area of the mountain time zone, I mean.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess right now Japan's a normal summer. We have there's a nice cool breeze coming in, but it's really humid. Have you said you've been to Japan before, right, Sean?
No, I haven't been there before, but sure would like to.
Yeah. just don't come in summer because it's so damn hot. It's not hot, it's humid hot. Meaning you go outside the door and usually my shirt's just covered in sweat. But 100 degrees,
well,
I bet you.
Actually, that's one of my questions I had for you. Is I heard that there's some serious flooding going on over in like Fukuoka or some other parts in southwestern Japan.
Yeah.
How bad is it getting?
I haven't actually been up to date. I've had headphones on and tuned into the video editing on that last episode, to be honest with you. But there's a lot of stuff going on with the weather here in Japan. To be honest, Sean, I don't know. I hope that everybody's okay down there in Kyushu.
They've been getting like a foot of rain a day. Some people had to be rescued by emergency. Somebody lost their child in the water.
Oh wow! Where in Kyushu was this? You said Kagoshima, Fukuoka?
Yeah, I think in that area, whatever the southernmost major island is, the northern part of that's where the big flooding is happening.
Ah, must be Kagoshima. Oh, the southernmost island, yeah. You mean like Kyushu, the big island?
Yeah, the last big island.
Oh, down in Kyushu, so the northern part would be Fukuoka and Kita-Kyushu.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. I really love that area. I'm gonna go check that out on the news, but I'm not really sure what's going on down there. I do know we're in the middle of the rainy season here in Japan, and although it's sunny right now, I'm looking over to my right, and the clouds are getting kind of dark. Let's see. Above all those wires, and I can hear thunder in the distance. So it's sort of at any moment the rain can start to come.
Well, in that case, I've got 3 other questions. They're not very long questions, just a short little series of them.
Okay, sure.
I was wondering, what are some foods that you miss from America? Like things that you might be able to get there, but they're too different from what you're used to in America that you really wish you could get there?
Yeah.
Or things that you just can't find anywhere?
Wow. Italian food was always, I'm from the East Coast. Italian food is something that I miss because we just don't get good Italian food here. You know, there's American Italian food and then there's Italian food, and the Italian food in Japan is Italian food. It's not the same. It's just, for some reason, it's not the same. So I miss that. Let me turn the camera back on. So I miss that, the Italian food. I miss, wow, gosh, there's so much. The candy, the chocolate. One of the things that I missed for the longest time was Reese's peanut butter cups. And I never ate Reese's peanut butter cups when I was in the US that much, but when I came to Japan and I didn't even have a chance to eat them, I sort of started to miss them. But I guess Costco brought the Reese's peanut butter cups back to Japan, the Japanese market, so you can get that. To be honest with you, a lot of the stuff that I couldn't get when I first came to Japan about 20 years ago, I can get now. There's one thing that I can't get. It's Pop-Tarts. And I don't know why I like Pop-Tarts. I guess it's just easy to make, and it's sweet, and it's got that icing on top. But you can't get that here. I can get it when I go to Hong Kong or something. Yeah.
These days, the Reese's people have about like a dozen different Reese's candy bar types that you can get here now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. They put it in everything, but peanut butter is not popular in Japan. So it's not something that a lot of people will buy. Just mostly expats buy Reese's peanut butter cups. But Ben & Jerry's is here in Japan, and they're doing pretty well, so maybe they'll start to fuse it in, and the culture will change a little bit. Although I'm not sure that that'd be a good idea, because I like how everyone's sort of thin around here. So maybe just keep it, like, you know, simple. But for me, yeah, that's the one thing I missed. The Reese's peanut butter cups and the Pop-Tarts. And shoes are hard to get here, Sean. I have a size 28.5 in Japanese, which is 10.5 here, and they make shoes in size 10 and size 11, and there's no half size for 10. So I have to get my shoes in the US. I get like 3 pair before I come back to Japan. The sacks are smaller
So
here as
what
well.
about, I've heard a lot of people talk about how they miss American breakfast cereals.
Yeah, you know what? Costco has a lot of that stuff though.
Oh, wow.
When Costco came in here about 5 or 6 years ago, and they started growing and making chains in different areas of the country, they started to change the supply chain. And one of the things that they did was to add cereal. The breakfast cereal aisle in the supermarket was really, really pathetic. All right, you know what? It reminded me of, in Japan, it's the ramen, the instant ramen aisle that's big, and the cereal aisle is really small. In the U.S., it's the cereal aisle that's huge, and the ramen aisle is probably pretty small. If you go through the supermarket, you see like hundreds and hundreds of kinds of instant ramen, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I used to eat a lot of sugary cereals in the U.S., but I don't anymore. I kind of just accept the Japanese breakfast.
You start your day with miso and rice.
Yeah, and I feel pretty good about that too, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's sort of how I start my day.
Well, you know, that stuff you were saying about Costco kind of segs into the next question I had, which was, what are the things that have changed in big ways during your years in Japan?
Well, that's a hard one. Japan, for me as a foreigner, the biggest thing that I can say that's changed here in Japan is they've allowed more foreign businesses in the country. When I first came to Japan, they had very, very few foreign businesses. One of the things that I tell everybody was that when I wanted a Starbucks coffee, there were only 2 Starbucks when I came to Japan. One was in Tokyo, the other one was in Osaka, and it just had opened in Osaka. So there was only one Starbucks for the longest time. But now they're everywhere. In fact, you could probably get a Carl's Jr. cheeseburger. You could get, I mean, these are chains that we don't have in the East Coast or the West Coast or regional in the US. They're all here in Tokyo. So now Tokyo's become this massive city where you can get just about anything from anywhere now. And it was never like that. When I came, there were certain like import stores that had it, usually very close to the expiration date or long life import versions of the same stuff. But now it's kind of, people are spoiled maybe. Because when I came, one of the reasons why I do the Japanese breakfast, Sean, is because when I came, that was the only choice that I had. So, and I sort of just stick to it now. So I'm glad that I came 20 years ago, because now all the choices that people have, expats coming, yeah, it's there's no reason to change into a Japanese style. You could live the way your culture is at any place in the world now. You can do it in Tokyo, which is up to par with every other major city, I think.
Well, I think that your style's probably better, though, because for one thing, it gives you more immersion into the society if you're eating the foods that other people do, and it's healthier.
Yeah, that's true. I think if you want to get to, when you want to get to know a culture, you have to kind of immerse yourself into it, and cooking and food is pretty important here in Japan. So, yeah, that's definitely been a good. Sorry, when they're moving a cart around. That's definitely one of the things that has been helped me understand Japan. Being able to cook here, and being able to eat all the stuff that everybody else eats here, and not think it's weird, because that's all I had when I came here.
Well, I've noticed in your videos that you're very open-minded about food and what you're willing to eat, but are there any things that you've encountered in the last few years where you're like, no, I can't, I'm sorry?
No, wait, no, not really. I don't like really heavily vinegary stuff, but I'll eat it. There's nothing really that I won't eat here. Like everybody else, when they first come to Japan, natto looks pretty gross, but I've gotten over I think I'm at the point where I don't judge food on its appearance or even on its smell. There was a food that I scouted when I went down to Kyoto on Friday to film that Starbucks episode. The Kyoto Starbucks opened last Friday, which is why I went down there. I was half a day in Kyoto and half a day in Otsu. And Otsu is the city on the south end of Biwako, just maybe 10 minutes by train from Kyoto. It's a fairly sized city. They're famous for food that stinks so bad it's sort of people compare it to what's the food in Norway? It's in a can, and if you open up the can, it makes everyone sick from the smell.
I don't know, but I do know about Limburger.
Yeah, Limburger. This kind of sushi, fermented sushi, has comparisons to like Limburger and other places, and that Norwegian stinky fish in a can. I guess if you Google Norway's canned fish smell, you probably get this thing. It's the worst smelling food in the world. It's in the Guinness Book of World Record. Apparently, it has they have a way to measure it.
Well, how would you describe the taste of natto to somebody who's never had natto?
Natto? I would say it's natto, but it's like snot. But you know, it's like if you like Mexican food, you probably would not mind natto so much, because to me they're beans. To me, it tastes like beans. I could put them in a tortilla, and I could probably have natto tortillas, you know, like a burrito with natto in it. It's just fermented because I don't know why they do it, why it's like this, but it's just the way it is. The taste, it's like Mexican beans with snot, but they put mustard and soy sauce, so it's a little salty. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, despite, you know, the way of describing it, it doesn't really sound that bad. It sounds like it's worth trying and figuring out if you like it.
It is worth trying. It's very healthy. I eat it almost every day on rice with eggs and other vegetables. So I'm actually near a supermarket, and he's rolling the carts. But natto's worth trying, and if you can get, again, like, appearances aren't everything. I noticed this with the people who picked me up hitchhiking. They look like they could be criminals, but they were pretty nice people. So I just like the people who picked me up hitchhiking, I don't judge them. I don't judge food either. I think you can, if locals are eating it, and if there's 100 different varieties of natto in the supermarket over there, I think that it's good enough to eat, and it's something that you can get used to.
Yeah, it looks like that Norwegian fish is called surströmming.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I'm probably gonna make an episode on this sushi in Otsu, which stinks so bad. And if you see it, you're the first person I told about it, Sean. But if I do make this an episode, it's gonna be pretty funny because it really does stink. And it's
So is what you're talking about called kusaya?
No. It's not kusaya, but kusaya is also something that is really. It smells like somebody broke wind, basically. And I ate it for NHK about 5 years ago in a famous shop. I couldn't get the smell off my fingers for over 3 days. It was really bad. And people eat it with their fingers, which makes me question a lot about how strong the older generation is. Really, really strong. Younger people won't eat it, but the older generation, man. Not only do they have stinky fingers, they can really eat just about anything. And kusaya is it's not bad. If you can get over the smell, it's really good. But why eat it? There's so many other foods to eat that's better than kusaya. That might be a good episode.
Older Japanese. Oh, sorry for interrupting.
No.
I was just saying, do you think that the older Japanese have greater fortitude and just gung-ho attitude than the younger Japanese? Do you think that, like, the younger people have had things pretty easy, so they don't really live strong?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the reason why is because after World War II, the older generation didn't have anything. They had to eat body parts. They had to eat, of animals, okay, not people. They had to eat, like motsunabe is a product of World War II, where they took all the insides of the meat from, like, the heart and the guts that the American GIs wouldn't eat, and they took that and they made a dish out of it called motsunabe, and you can still eat that in Shinjuku and a lot of other places around Japan. And it's really, really popular with older people because of this nostalgia of it. it's not bad either, but younger people don't eat it that much. It's not popular with younger people. Just the older generation. The older generation is tough, man. I gotta tell you, the grandpas and grandmas out there, and not just in Japan, probably everywhere, they grew up, you know, through the Depression and all these really hard times. And right now we have access to so many things that they didn't have. We're spoiled rotten compared to them. So, man.
Yeah, earlier today I was reading a story about an American man. He's a 100-year-old guy. He's a retired member of the U.S. Navy, served in World War II,
Whoa.
and he volunteers for a Habitat for Humanity, and he puts in more volunteer hours every week than any other volunteer they have.
That's what I'm talking about. My neighbor, Mr. Seiichi, is 97 years old now. He's still working. So, you know, people, the older generation, they work really hard, and that's something we could all learn from, including me. Although,
yeah, your elderly neighbor is my favorite regular that's in your videos.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a topic where he can begin it, maybe karaoke or something like that. I asked him what keeps him young, and he had one word: karaoke. So I was like, I haven't done a karaoke episode yet, so it might be good to get Mr. Seiichi's opinions on how to stay young, on what his secret is to live to 100. You know, because in Japan, there's a lot of people past the century mark. So I'm kind of curious. I think it's more than just the food. So this will be something.
Yeah, I'd like to watch a video like that.
Yeah. So this is a topic I'm trying to do, put together this fall. So you'll see something on that soon. Well, Sean, thanks a lot for all these questions. Gosh, you always have so many good ones.
All right. Well, can I leave you with one last one, and then we can call it good?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay. This one ties in really well. How do you balance your DVD editing, other work, and your leisure time?
I don't. Leisure time, very little. My hand's hurting, Sean, so I'm gonna hang up the phone, but I'll answer your question online, okay?
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, yeah. Man, Sean always has good questions. It's hard to balance, and I think since I came back from the trip, I've been very much overwhelmed by work, and I could balance it before, but I think that there were so many projects that I was doing. One, I was hitchhiking, and now there's the DVD as well as continuing the episodes. That I don't. My leisure time is called Only in Japan Go. That's what I do. I'll go somewhere and I'll just make a video, usually with one of my friends, and it's a chance for me to meet somebody. Like Peter or Jennifer and other people that aren't on the show, because I don't make enough Only in Japan on the main channel. I do that with the Go channel, and that's fun because I don't have to edit it, and I just use my environment and try to make a show out of it, and that's always been pretty good. But when it comes to editing, I think you have to learn to get faster and faster and faster with it, and how to streamline your process. And something like the hitchhiking DVD, it's different than my normal show, meaning this thing is a lot longer. The typical episode for Only Japan is about 10 minutes, and this is well over 10 minutes, and you have to, you can't do the same kind of show. You have to have longer shots, maybe. You can't have every single second is going to be like, you know, a big hit, whereas on YouTube, I try to make it where every single moment that you see has a value to you as a viewer, and that's really hard to do with the DVD with such a length. So that's been really hard to edit, not just because it's so much material, but because there's so many things that I did. There, over 30 people stopped to pick me up, 3,000 kilometers, hundreds and hundreds of places that I think I drove past and saw that I want to feature on a map, and I didn't plan it out because I knew that the experience would happen naturally. If you try to plan your experiences, it doesn't always look well. So the time constraints, the schedule has been it's been hard. Like I made I made the promise to come and do this live stream 2 days ago, and that was a really big deal. So I canceled other work that came in, so I could just stay here today to do 2 things: work on my to do this live stream, 3 things. Let's do this live stream, work on my visa renewal, and to work on the DVD editing. And then before I go to bed, I'm gonna work on the edamame episode, which is the next one that's coming up there. And then I have another project that I'm editing for a hotel chain. That's paid work, but it's not on the Only in Japan channel. And it's a lot. But right now my commitment is very much onto the DVD because people have paid for it, and I also have to balance the channel's work. I wake up, so I go to bed around 2 or 3 in the morning, and I wake up around 8 in the morning, and I get typically 4.5 hours of sleep, I'd say 5 hours of sleep, and it's not enough, but every now and then I'll sneak in an 8-hour day. And I think as soon as August comes, the end of August, I'm gonna start going back to the schedule, and I'm just gonna say no to jobs and get regular sleep again and focus on just the YouTube channel. But Sean, you brought this question in. It makes me look back at myself, and that's really cool. I don't know. I just keep at it, and I can't waste time. When you have a lot of stuff like I have right now on your shoulders, and I can feel the weight of all these projects on me, you start to understand how valuable your time is, how valuable every minute of your life is, how important not to waste any of your time, how to use it as efficiently as possible, and the things that you do regularly, how to make that more efficient and how to save time on that so you can buy time to go like this and relax and maybe take in a TV show on Netflix or something like this. The things that I used to do a couple of years ago, I can't do anymore because I have to be focused on the show, on the other jobs. And I mean, business is going pretty well. Just don't have a lot of time for myself or to go out. I haven't seen too many of my friends. I haven't, summer is a good time to go to beer gardens in Japan, up on the top there. I haven't been to one yet. I haven't been out to eat that often. Yeah, but we pull through it. The best feeling in the world is when you finish something. You complete a project and you finish it. And when the DVD is finished, it's gonna be probably the best feeling in the world because I can say, that was great. That whole trip, and then the editing, and then I got the DVD out to everybody, and then I can just wait for comments back on that. It's an incredible feeling of achievement, I think. And that's something that keeps me going when I'm doing the editing and all of the work. So thanks for this question, Sean. What work, hello, Jim has a question. What work do you envision yourself doing 10 years from now? Sounds like a job interview. Maybe another way to answer the question, what do you hope to be doing 10 years from now? What do I hope to be doing in 10 years? I don't think it's gonna be YouTube. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be YouTube. The thing is, YouTube is pretty big right now, but in 10 years, we don't know if that's gonna be the content, the medium that is still gonna be on top. And I'm a realist. I know that you always have to continue to change and find new ways to reinvent yourself. Don't get comfortable, basically. Never get comfortable. In my life here in Japan, I've never ever been really comfortable because I knew that I have to stay on my toes and always try to look for opportunities. I've never had a lot of money. I've never been rich. I've never been well off. I've never been in a point where I can just say everything is perfect. And it is perfect. But here I am in Japan, and a lot of people who want to live here envy that I'm living here in Japan. But I am working very, very hard. It's not always easy, and I don't particularly have a boss that's telling me what to do. I have viewers, and I do have clients, but I have deadlines to meet, but it's not overwhelming to me. It's just that 10 years from now, I guess I'm going to be making video content in a different way. Maybe 3D, virtual reality, I don't know, more 360 videos. I'm not sure what the trends are gonna be. But I'll tell you this though, whatever they are, I'm gonna find them. And I'm gonna try to be the first one to get there. And I'm gonna be one of the people who tries to master those new skills that are needed for that industry and compete with people that are 20 years younger than me. That's what I have to do. That's what we have to do to survive. If I was working in a company or in an office, I could just focus on one job or whatever they give to me. But when you're out here as I guess a freelance creator, you have to very much, you have to be competitive. You have to compete, you know? You have to go out there and get it, I guess. And that's not always easy. So, you know what? I'm gonna look at the next in chunks of every 2 years, because I have no idea how technology is going to change how we operate. Already, I mean, can you imagine, like, I'm live streaming 720p videos, which 10 years ago required a satellite dish, it required a big van, it required a team of people to do live streaming videos from location. I'm doing it with this. Right now, I'm live streaming on 4G right now in the center of Tokyo, and this is incredibly crazy. So this requires me to embrace something that's brand new. And I'm 43 years old, so it's not as easy as it used to be, but it's still something that is part of the culture that I've lived, embracing new stuff. I was one of the first people to start to do 360 videos on YouTube. So whatever lies down the road for telling a story better, I'm gonna be there. And that's where I hope I am in 10 years, out there telling a story and finding new mediums to do it. YouTube's a great medium to tell a story. It's not just, you know, when I make a show, it's not just introducing, oh look, this is Shibuya. No, I wanna tell you a story about Shibuya. I wanna tell you a story about that area. And that's what I do with Only in Japan. It's telling a story. So that's never gonna die. They've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, since Beowulf and before that. And we will see how this technology evolves. Gosh, these are very, very deep questions, man. I don't even know how to... Okay, so Brian, just shout out to Brian from Chicago. Thanks for the comments. And Lynn, thank you. Yeah, I got a really bad haircut, so I have to wear the hat. It's not bad, it's just too short. Yeah. People are looking at me. I don't mind. So Sean kept me on for a little bit. But that's okay. Because now I'm going to this bakery that I passed earlier on. Wow, they got some good stuff. Alright. So Sean, all that stuff that I was telling you about, you know, eating healthy, I'm not gonna do that today. I'm having baked stuff. I'm having baked stuff today. So thanks everybody for watching the live stream. If you have any follow-up questions, you can leave them in Patreon underneath this video, and I'll try, or send me a message on Patreon. I'm gonna try to answer everybody's questions and do all the other stuff that I have to do today. So it's really great to have a chance to talk with you. Everybody on here, I'm looking, making sure. All right, Jim, you're very welcome. I don't know if that's a great answer, but it's a hard. I love these questions because there's stuff I don't think about. I'm so focused on going forward. Sometimes I need to take a step back and think about myself, and these types of questions do that. So thank you for that. Wow. All right, maybe I'm not getting baked goods because you can see here it's peach season. See the peaches? Whoa! No, don't touch the peach, kid. Whoa. I might just get some peaches. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's a good 1 hour. We were together. Leave me a message if you have ideas for an episode. I really like the first call in about Disney Sea. If you have, hey Jade, if you have any video suggestions to do, let me know. Uncle Elias, just be glad she didn't like everyone. Yeah. I've seen that in the bakeries before. That's why I don't pick the ones on the low shelf. I kind of go on the higher shelf because I know that they probably didn't get licked or coughed on as bad. But yeah, leave a comment, and all of the feedback absolutely helps, and so does the support. So thank you very much for supporting the channel and supporting me. I'm leaving, so just a quick update. I'm leaving to go to one of Tokyo's tropical islands on the 19th, and I'm gonna be gone for over 10 days. I think 12 days I'll be gone, maybe more. And I'm taking my laptop to keep editing the DVD. Hopefully I'm finished by then, but I'm taking the laptop to edit. It's one of the most remotest islands in Japan, and maybe not the world, but it's pretty remote. You have to take a helicopter to get there. And this trip was made possible by Patreon because there's no sponsor, there's nobody paying for the tickets and the lodgings. It's just you guys. So thank you so much for this. And when I put this episode out there, you're gonna know where it came from. It came from you and the support that you've given me. And I want to do more episodes like this. I wouldn't have done Aogashima episode out there to the Tokyo Island if it wasn't for you. I'm gonna try really hard to get this out very, very fast, so everybody can see it in the summertime, because these Tokyo Islands are pretty darn cool. It's really interesting to have a place like this here in Tokyo, and you're gonna see it. Thanks again for the support, everybody. I gotta go eat breakfast. Those buns aren't getting any hotter. See you, everybody.